Good afternoon to you again today. The semi-finals, of course, it's going to be tricky this time around because we've got three teams that have never won this competition, three teams that don't exactly know what it takes to do what Bayern did 7 years ago. But can we maybe say, looking at, for example, RB Leipzig taking on a PSG tonight, can they do what they've done in the past rounds? Atletico Madrid, who've been to the final twice against Real Madrid, can we expect an upset from them again?
Well, it's possible, Murana, because nobody expected them to go this far. Remember, this is a team that is 11-year-old. It was only founded in 2009. So for them, what they've achieved to go all this way up until the semi-finals, so it means, yes, they can. They do have a belief that they can win. They lost Timo Werner, who was their talisman. But still, I think I expect them to give PSG a run for their money, especially even though they have a player who's not going to be there. We'll see when we see the team news, who's out with an injury. But I expect them to give PSG a run for their money. Looking at PSG, on the other hand, they have quite a number of players whom they are not sure whether they are going to feature tonight, which is going to make it even a more interesting tie. Hence, I'm saying Leipzig, I'm expecting them to give PSG a very, very tough time, and it's possible that they can upset the apple cart, as we have seen quite a number of times in this competition, dating back to perhaps maybe in the early 90s, 1996, it was when Borussia Dortmund, coached by Ottmar Hitzfeld, they won the UEFA Champions League back then. 2004, inspired by Benny McCarthy, FC Porto won against all odds the UEFA Champions League, the final. Well, the final, they were odds on to win it because they were up against a Monaco side led by Julie at the time. But in prior rounds, they played Manchester United. Against all odds, they defeated Manchester United all the way to the final, and they lifted the final. So I'm not saying Leipzig are going to win the final, but it's possible for them. Sky's the limit for them as far as reaching that Champions League final, maiden final. It will be for them.
You bring up the matter of team news. Angel Di Maria wasn't around in that match that PSG almost lost against Atalanta. You've got Ibrahima Konate, who has not been around for Leipzig as well. You mentioned Timo Werner, who, of course, was sitting at Stamford Bridge, you know, when they were playing the last couple of matches of the Premier League season. Where then does the two managers of Leipzig and PSG, what do they do to make sure that they get it right this time around? PSG, we know, are star-studded. Where do they get it right in terms of adding and closing those gaps that those two players I've mentioned are concerned?
I think for PSG, it will be very critical, for Thomas Tuchel to make sure that a player like Pablo Sarabia, he's from Spain. He played with big teams like Sevilla. So he's experienced as far as European competitions are concerned. But then again, if you don't have a Marco Verratti, who is a crafter in that midfield, who is an anchor man, who wins balls for PSG, and they didn't have him in their quarterfinal tie against Atalanta. If they don't have him tonight, it's highly likely because he's doubtful. And if you don't have an Idrissa Gana Gueye, then you have a big problem because those are two key players. Those are the spine of PSG. If they are to win tonight's encounter, they will need to rely heavily on those players to recover the balls for them, because you don't expect Neymar to track back and recover possession. You don't expect Kylian Mbappe to track back, no, Mauro Icardi. So that is going to be very crucial. On the other hand, for Leipzig, they have a player like Marcel Sabitzer, who is very, very talented, who's a workhorse in that Leipzig midfield. And you can see they play as a team. So it's going to be very interesting, as you have said. Angel Di Maria is coming back from suspension. But another big blow for PSG is Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper. He has won the European Champions League 3 times in the past with Real Madrid. So he's going to be a big miss for PSG. But they have a capable replacement in goals, a man who has played with Sevilla, Sergio Rico. So I'm expecting him to do well tonight, Sergio Rico. So he played for Sevilla. He knows what does it take to win a European competition, which was the Europa League, in fact, not the Champions League.
Time is not on our side, unfortunately, but I want to quickly jump to the next semi-final, which is happening tomorrow. Lyon, Bayern Munich. We saw 8-2 in a team that you hold very dear to your heart, Barcelona. But Lyon have done Juventus and Man City very nasty as well. Who do you give it to in that particular situation?
I think the Bavarians will be too much for a Lyon side. Yes, they've done so well. And remember, the last time the two teams played was back in 2010 in the same stage. Bayern Munich ran out 4-0 winners on aggregate. So it's only Thomas Müller and David Alaba who featured back then in the Bayern side. But interestingly enough, for the opposing side, which is Lyon, not even a single player featured in 2010. So it's going to be very interesting, but I think the Bavarians will be too much for any side, including that man on your screen, Kylian Mbappe. So I think they are going to take this season's UEFA Champions League. I would be very surprised if they don't.
eNCA sports producer Sandile Mchunu basically saying that Bayern Munich will most likely be crowned champions 7 years after they won this competition. And a lot of people will most likely be wanting Bayern Munich to be playing PSG, the star-studded PSG with Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. But we will see. The semi-finals happening tonight, PSG and the RB Leipzig, and tomorrow night, Bayern Munich and Olympic Lyon. But that's where we're going to leave it from the sports desk.